If you live with psoriasis, the source of your flares may not start on your skin. Emerging research points somewhere you wouldn't expect: your gut. A meta-analysis tied alcohol consumption to a 47% higher flare risk. Ultra-processed foods appeared 36% more in people with active disease. So which foods does the latest science actually link to psoriasis flares, and which commonly blamed triggers may not matter at all? Psoriasis is a chronic, immune-driven disease that reaches far beyond the surface of the skin. While most people recognize it by its red scaly patches, the condition is actually the result of an overactive immune response that causes skin cells to grow and pile up much faster than usual. This immune activity is not limited to the skin. Inflammation can affect joints, blood vessels, and other parts of the body, which is why psoriasis is now recognized as a systemic condition, not just a skin problem. Globally, psoriasis affects about 2 to 3% of the population. That means roughly 125 million people worldwide are living with this diagnosis, according to recent estimates. It can develop at any age, though it is most common in adults. The visible plaques can appear almost anywhere, often on elbows, knees, scalp, or lower back. But the effects go deeper, sometimes impacting quality of life, mental health, and risk for other inflammatory conditions like heart disease and diabetes. Psoriasis is not contagious, and it is not caused by poor hygiene or a single food. Genetics play a strong role, but environmental factors, like infections, stress, or certain medications, can also influence when symptoms appear or worsen. The unpredictable nature of flares leads many people to wonder about the impact of everyday choices, including what they eat and drink. This curiosity is understandable, since inflammation is at the heart of the disease. Still, it is important to be clear: no single food or lifestyle change can cause or cure psoriasis. The condition is complex, and its triggers and patterns can vary widely from person to person. Understanding this complexity is the first step toward making informed decisions about managing symptoms and supporting overall health. Inside the gut, trillions of microbes shape the body's health in ways that reach far beyond digestion. In psoriasis, scientists have found a distinct shift in this microbial community: fewer types of bacteria, and a marked loss of those that produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate and propionate. These compounds help keep the gut lining strong and inflammation in check. When their numbers drop, the gut barrier can weaken, allowing bacterial fragments such as lipopolysaccharides to slip into the bloodstream. These fragments can trigger immune responses that ripple through the body, including the skin. Researchers describe this state as dysbiosis, a gut out of balance. In this environment, the immune system tends to become more reactive. T cells, especially the Th17 cells that drive psoriasis, can shift into high gear. This creates a feedback loop. Changes in the gut can fuel skin flares, while ongoing inflammation in the skin may also affect the gut's microbial balance. Early clinical trials have tested whether restoring gut health can ease skin symptoms. Randomized controlled studies using probiotic supplements, often with strains like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, have shown a modest reduction in psoriasis severity, measured by PASI scores after several weeks. These results suggest a biological link between gut microbes and skin inflammation, though they fall short of a cure. The research community continues to map the details, but the evidence points to a constant conversation between gut and skin. Changes in gut microbes and barrier function may help explain the unpredictable course of psoriasis and why scientists are turning their attention to diet and gut health as possible keys to managing the disease. Certain foods and drinks have been studied more closely for their link to psoriasis activity. Among these, alcohol stands out with the strongest evidence. In a 2024 meta-analysis that included nearly 1.7 million people, those who drank alcohol had 47% higher odds of developing psoriasis compared to non-drinkers. This association holds across different countries and age groups, and higher consumption often tracks with more severe skin symptoms and reduced treatment response. Reducing or avoiding alcohol may help lessen flare frequency, especially for people who already notice a pattern. Ultra-processed foods like packaged snacks, sugary drinks, processed meats, and ready-to-eat meals are also linked to active psoriasis. A large 2025 cohort study found that people eating the highest amounts of ultra-processed foods were 36% more likely to have active psoriasis than those eating the least. These foods tend to be high in added sugars, saturated fats, and additives, while being low in fiber and nutrients. This combination may promote inflammation and disrupt gut health, both of which can make psoriasis harder to manage. Other dietary patterns that may contribute to worsening symptoms include eating lots of fried foods, processed meats, and foods rich in saturated fats, as well as diets low in fiber. These habits can raise inflammation throughout the body, not just in the skin. While not every person will see dramatic changes by adjusting these areas, the evidence is strong enough that most experts recommend starting here if you want to test how diet might influence your symptoms. Focusing on these high-evidence factors is a practical first step before exploring more debated or individualized triggers. Gluten, dairy, nightshades, and spicy foods often come up in conversations about psoriasis triggers. But scientific evidence does not support the idea that these foods cause flares for everyone. Research on gluten offers a clear example. Most people with psoriasis do not have celiac disease or elevated celiac-related antibodies. In a study of 80 patients, none tested positive for celiac antibodies. However, a small subgroup with elevated anti-gliadin antibodies, markers that suggest gluten sensitivity, did see improvement after 3 months on a gluten-free diet. For the vast majority, removing gluten does not lead to better skin, and strict restriction may even add unnecessary stress or nutritional gaps. Dairy is another debated topic. Observational studies have not found a consistent link between dairy intake and psoriasis severity. While some people report that cutting back on dairy makes them feel better, there is no strong evidence that dairy is a universal trigger. The same goes for nightshade vegetables, such as tomatoes, potatoes, and eggplants. These foods contain certain plant compounds that can irritate sensitive individuals, but most people tolerate them without issue. Spicy foods are sometimes blamed for flares, yet studies have not confirmed a direct connection. For some, spicy meals may temporarily worsen sensations like burning or itching, but this effect is not seen across all patients. Ultimately, these foods may only matter for a small subset of people. And there is no single list of foods that everyone with psoriasis should avoid. The most practical approach is to track your own symptoms, diet, stress, and sleep for several weeks. Patterns can be subtle and highly individual. Bringing these notes to a healthcare provider, a dermatologist, doctor, or registered dietitian can help you decide if it is worth testing changes. Avoid cutting out major food groups without medical guidance, as this can create more problems than it solves. The focus should remain on finding what works for you, not following restrictive diets based on popular trends. A Mediterranean-style eating pattern has drawn attention for its potential to support people living with psoriasis. The Medipso randomized clinical trial, completed in Madrid between February 2024 and March 2025, put this diet to the test in adults with mild to moderate psoriasis. Over 16 weeks, participants received guidance from a registered dietitian and followed a plan rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, fish, and extra virgin olive oil. Red meat and processed foods were minimized. At the end of the study, those in the Mediterranean diet group saw a greater drop in their psoriasis area and severity index, PASI, scores compared to those who received only general low-fat advice. Nearly half of the Mediterranean group achieved at least a 75% improvement in their skin scores, while none in the control group reached that milestone. Quality of life, sleep, and metabolic health markers also improved alongside skin symptoms. These results highlight the value of a whole food, anti-inflammatory approach, especially when supported by a dietitian. Psoriasis isn't caused by one food, and no diet can cure it. But emerging research suggests tracking what you eat, drink, and experience may help you spot patterns unique to you. Bring those notes to your doctor or dietitian. This video is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Psoriasis can be complex, and everyone's journey is different. Mama Health is a free doctor-built AI support platform for people living with chronic conditions like psoriasis. It helps you track symptoms, ask questions, understand your health information in plain language, learn from experiences shared by others, and prepare for dermatologist appointments so you can feel more informed and supported before, after, and in between visits with your healthcare team.